It's Super Bowl 59 between the 17-2 Chiefs and the 17-3 Eagles. Let's get into a same-game parlay that I created over at Bet365. If you want to sign up at Bet365, they have two great offers. Bet $10 and get free $50 in bonus bets, or a first bet safety net up to $1,000. You can check out that promo and others at signupexpert.com/shredthespread/bet365, or just the Shred the Spread link to see all of them. I'll share that down there in the comments. Leg one of this same game parlay, of which there will be 5 legs. Let's bet the Chiefs all the way up to plus 11.5. They usually win games, but this way, unless they get completely blown out, you're easily covered. And when they met in Super Bowl 57, it was 38-35 Chiefs. When they met the next season, it was 21-17 Philly. More recently, the Chiefs have a ridiculous winning streak of 17 games where they won in one-score games. So if this game's close, certainly a KC win would surprise nobody. KC rarely loses, but then neither do Philly. And if someone did blow the other out, I do somehow feel maybe it could be Philly, as the Chiefs don't really try to roll teams. So we'll have the Chiefs up plus 11.5. We should be safe there. Next up, over 2.5 field goals in the game, and both teams to kick at least one of those field goals. Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker, has gone 5 for 5 kicking in the playoffs. He's 29 for 31 on the season. Only 3 times all year has he not kicked at least one field goal, and one of those times, he didn't even attempt one. Eagles kicker Jake Elliott was 3 for 3, 3 for 3, and 0 for 1 so far in the playoffs. Was rarely needed in the game against the Commanders. He's only 28 of 36 on the season, but he has kicked at least one field goal in 12 of his last 14 games, and multiple field goals in 10 of those 14 games. The Chiefs are reaching the red zone at the highest rate since their 2018 team. They're not always finding a way to punch that into the end zone, so they don't often go for the big play, and both teams have top 10 red zone defenses, which could mean we see a lot of field goal opportunities for both kickers in this game. I think at least each kicker gets one, someone gets a second at least. Next up, we'll switch from kickers to receivers. Dallas Goedert, 3 or more receptions. Everyone's piling onto this one. The Chiefs gave up the most yards to tight ends this season and the 4th most catches. Philly tight end Goedert has the most targets, catches, and yards of all the Eagles receivers so far in the playoffs. His playoff catch totals are 4, 4, and 7. Prior to that, they were 4, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not going to worry about betting him to go over his main prop total, trying to get, 5 or 6 or 7. I'm just going to pick him to have 3 or more catches in this same game parlay in case Steve Spagnuolo schemes up a way to slow him down, and when everybody's on something, it does not always hit, but I do see him being involved, getting at least 3 catches. Next up, Xavier Worthy, also 3 or more catches. There's no real main consistent threat on the Chiefs. Of course, you could say Kelsey, but he only had 2 catches in the AFC Championship. Worthy has 11 catches in 2 playoff games, and in other games, he has hit 8, 7, 6, 5, 5, 4, and 4 catches in reverse order. So he's been piling up the catches in many games. Probably he sees more than 3 catches, but in this safe same game parlay, let's just ask him to get 3. And finally, Saquon Barkley. We're over to the rushers now. 15 or more rushing attempts. Barkley has been running through all the defenses this season the entire year. Continue to do that in the playoffs with yardage totals of 119, 205, and 118. He's cracked the 100-yard mark now 14 times this season and 9 times in his last 10 games. He's very likely going to do so again, but the Chiefs were 9th defending the run this year, and they have often found ways to slow down top running backs, including in last year's Super Bowl, where they held Christian McCaffrey to 80 yards on 22 attempts. So let's just focus on rushing attempts, 15 or more rushing attempts to be exact. It's a number that Barkley has hit in 17 of 19 games, and also in each of the last 10. In his past 10 games, he's actually averaged 24 carries per game, so you could likely feel confident betting him to have well over 15 in this game. Win or lose, Barkley should be heavily involved, so we'll ask him to have at least 15 rushing attempts, not worry about how many yards he gets. If you combine all of those legs, we've got plus 140 odds over at Bet365 in this same game parlay. Now, I tried to make this very simple to hit, but of course, for better odds, you could ask for more catches than 3 and for some of these players. Maybe Chiefs plus 7.5 or 4.5 instead, or also Philly as well. Just switch it over to the Philly side. Barkley to have more rushing yards, a touchdown, or obviously any number of other things. But let's go with these 5 legs for this same game parlay. Who's coming out on top in your Super Bowl 59 picks? The Chiefs or the Eagles? What same game parlays do you like? Share them down there in the comments, and good luck on Sunday.